Okay, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Canary Cry News Talk live stream, pre-stream. You're here. I'm here. Liar Bliss is here. Rumble, where you at, Rumble? Okay, they'll start popping in. Oh, I'm going to send out the text message alert here. Here I go. Of course, if you're getting the show early, you're popping in the pre-show, you're probably already on the text message alert system, or you are relying on YouTube to send you a notification. I will tell you what, that could go away at any moment. They traditionally, historically, love not sending out the notifications, and it seems to go in waves. So if you're a live viewer especially, go ahead, join the text message alert system. That'll make sure that you never miss a show. You'll receive a text message before every show, so you can pop in and hang out with your friends, your buddies. Okay, I'm sending out this text message right now. You can go to canarycry.party. That's right, it's a URL, canarycry.party. Sign up for the text message alert system there, or you can text the word canary to 877-740-3226. That's Canary to 877-740-3226. Yes. I got a text message from somebody who's on the list and said that they didn't get notificated today. Notificated. So, you know, that's the thing. We're going to be sending out these text messages. While you're at it, if you're not on the list, look, here's the thing. When somebody else says, join my newsletter, I don't actually hear them say it because I don't actually care. I don't sign up to newsletters. It's so old school. It seems like, you know, 1994. I'm not going to be on a newsletter, but I will tell you, I work very hard on our newsletter. We send it out before every episode. It includes the art from the show, so you can have the art, do stuff with the art, whatever you want. It has all the has a little blurb from me, some information. That's always fun. You'll get first notified on any sort of special something we're doing, as well as the meetups. That's all on the newsletter. Very good informational newsletter, as well as, most importantly, receiving direct links to all of our sources for the episode. And this is what I've stressed in the past, and maybe other people don't care much about it, but for me, getting the direct links to everything we source on the show is very important, because it's like your own personal digital library of mainstream news articles that build the case that the mainstream is not to be trusted. And, you know, it's one thing you're having a conversation with your mom, your dad, your friends, your uncle, anybody like that, to say, you know, this is the truth. They're lying about this. This was corrupted, blah, 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 whatever. And they go, yeah, right. Show me a link. Show me. I'm going to Google it. And then Google algorithms inevitably lead them to a fact check or something. They won't find the information if they Google it. And you'll have a hard time finding it as well. But if you have those links in your email box, you go, yeah, here's my very good point about how the mainstream legacy media is lying to us. They go, show me, and don't show me one of those dirty blogs. That's not news. You go, okie dokie, and you pull it up on CNN, the holy grail of narrative lovers outlets there, and you can show them right on CNN. Look at this. It's right there. You love it. You trust it. And they go, oh my gosh, I've been wrong. I've been wrong my entire life. And then you guys become better friends, or perhaps more. Who knows? But do that. Sign up to the newsletter. Go to canarycry.party. It'll be up there at the top. All right. Talking to you, Echo26 and Lori and Daniel and Psalm 40 and Stefan and Cody and Warrior Chick Jan and Chili Peen and Dadalorian and all you people over on YouTube, including 122 Go 2, the Lone Ranger over on Twitch. 122 Go 2. Go join 122 Go 2 on the Twitch. You can see a link for that at canarycry.party or in your newsletter. And of course, big rousing round of applause for Guitar Man 86 and K December 22 and J Error 504 over on Rumble for keeping freedom alive. All right, everybody, let's get this show started.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Crime News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is October 11th, 2023. We are live to tape on episode 676. And today, Chaos Ritual Catalyst. Signing on from off the grid, Razzle Dazzle. I'm your best buddy, Basil, and you are not crazy.
And my name is Gonz, director of the Age of Deceit films. Your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ, live to tape from California to bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events and today's emergent phenomenon. Hashtag the circle is nearly complete. The left and the right are collapsing in on each other. It's becoming one giant circle. Elon Musk shared his new X logo with a circle around it, which is more exact to what Freeman Fly and some people have talked about, how the Satanists want the mark of the beast to be a circle and an X. So good stuff. But
that's a long hashtag.
Yeah. I want to take a moment. I just was reading this, Basil, as we were going live here.
Okay.
I'm seeing this now, so I'm just going to talk about it for a second here.
Okay.
Joe Horn posted this morning, earlier today, that he has an update. My father, that's Tom Horn, friend of the show here, was mid-heart attack when he arrived at the hospital this morning. He was rushed in and discovered to have the widowmaker, main artery above the heart, at 100% blockage. They inserted a stent and have him in ICU. He's currently struggling to breathe, has fluid on his lungs, and is in catastrophic pain. It's unbearable to see him like this. Pray no pneumonia develops in his lungs. His heart's only operational at 10% at this point, so they have him on machines that are doing most of the work of the heart for him. They want to avoid incubating him over lack of oxygen and laborious breathing. The doctors say he's very sick, but are optimistic he will recover. So, just calling upon the producers here.
Producers, assemble!
Lift up the Horn
My
family.
goodness.
Yeah. And Tom. So, man, it's been a tough few years with just people that have been important to our journey, Basil, you and I, and many others out there. Lift up Tom in prayer there, for the pain to go away, for the recovery to happen so he can write another book. We need a couple more added, Tom,
Yeah. Indeed, that's one of the weird things. Now, things have caught up a little bit recently, but back when we started, we were kind of the youngest, weirdest kids on the block doing what we're doing. And, there's lots of sort of fathers of the genre who were very kind to us, very helpful to us. And, that's part of the problem with growing up, Gonz, is everybody else is getting older too.
Life. Yeah, we're all kind of stuck on this time train thing.
Time is an illusion. So of course we'll keep the Horn family in prayer. And if you're not familiar with Tom Horn, you can go check out his episodes on Canary Cry Radio. I don't have them right in front of me, but just search Tom Horn.
You'll find it.
Cry Radio.
Yep.
Okay. Well, shall we give a disclaimer and get the show rolling?
Shall we do?
Shall we?
Shall we?
Shall
Yes.
we? Yes.
It's time for a disclaimer.
Now listen up.
YouTube. That's right. And just for all the content moderators and censorship managers out there, be they robots or humans, everything you hear on this show comes directly from the mainstream corporate news media. We do not claim to be experts on healthcare, geopolitics, military strategy, corporate law, or the moral and ethical implications of any of these topics, nor do we implicitly or explicitly support or subscribe to any sources or narratives containing misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation, as defined by the Department of Homeland Security. We're good boys. All right, YouTube, we're good boys. That's right. And let me give you a rundown.
Oh, look, here's Basil.
Let me bring you up to speed.
All right, folks, lots going on. But to prelude the episode here, we will be getting biblical, talking about the spectacular solar eclipse that will darken the sky on Saturday. What does this mean? What should we think about it? I don't know. Do not consult the Oracle. Just consult your favorite podcast, Canary Cry News Talk. Then we'll be reviewing one of the stranger 33 updates and public rituals that happened just yesterday, I believe, in regards to the 9/11 memorial fountains in New York City. Lots of details to this. It's a stunning and confusing act by this individual, but as always, if you look close enough, things start to come together. Then we checking in with FLIPPY, yes, your favorite robotic arm, and his new job. He's moving up in the world, getting buffer, and now instead of flipping burgers, he's flipping cars. We'll talk about how the robots are making their way into our lives just before we get back into our current obsession, which is the 5G warfare. Fifth generation warfare is what it is, not 5G, fifth generation warfare. And the Israel situation continues to intensify, which means the media messaging has continued to intensify, and we will be exploring the zigs, the zags, and the circuitous nature of fifth generation warfare and its effects on the battlefield of our minds, and wrapping that up with a nice report on a WMD, possible WMD attack, but it's not what you think. And then at the end of the show, Antarctica. Is it in danger? Is it not? Who knows? But we will tell you. But first, Gons, our lead stories.
It's got to be biblical.
We got the usatoday.com here in the headline. A spectacular solar eclipse will darken the sky Saturday. Will the one in April be better? We're already talking about
Is there
April.
another one in April, or are they talking about last April?
There is. I think there's another one coming, April 2024. Millions of Americans.
Far away. We don't even know if society will survive until April.
I think we'll get there. We got to make it through the next Bitcoin halving. I mean, it's scheduled for April 2024. It's got to happen.
Oh, good timing.
Millions of Americans could be able to see a spectacular solar eclipse on Saturday, October 14th, as the moon. That, by the way, a day after Friday the 13th. It happens to land in the spooky month, as the moon passes in front of the sun, temporarily darkening the sky over a swath of the country. But experts say the real showstopper comes April 2024, when large portions of the country see an even more impressive total eclipse. The October eclipse is known as the annular or ring of fire eclipse, where the moon slides in front of the sun but doesn't totally obscure it, creating a halo effect. But during a total eclipse like the one in April, the moon's apparent size from Earth will allow it to entirely cover the sun's face, briefly turning day into night for those in its shadows.
What an interesting way for them to talk about the eclipse. It's almost like biblical language about a, like, not all that uncommon occurrence. I mean, whatever, every couple of years or something. I don't know.
Sure.
There's been a few during our lifetime, but no, now it will be turning day into night. Pray for salvation.
Yeah, it's the universe clock. You know, it just ticks. It keeps ticking and tells us things. It's seasons. So it gets into some more details here. The one thing I wanted to mention, it does talk about the year. Well, there's a graph, first of all. If you're in, there's a strip from Eugene, Oregon, down to the Gulf of Mexico coast there on Texas. That band, it goes through northern Nevada, parts of Utah, and New Mexico. It's that you're going to get the real deal. You're going to get the full ring effect.
Yeah, that's the same. That's the same path it took in 2017.
Oh, you mean there's repetitive circular motions happening?
Yeah. Yes. I don't. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, the one in 2024 is supposed to be bigger. It goes across sort of the eastern side of the United States. So fun, good times.
Okay.
I think there's a year 2020. I thought there was a year 2020 or 2046. Hold on, I'm trying to find the number. Because the year 20, it's not in here. Huh, interesting. I thought they had it in here earlier. Because obviously 2046 would be the year after, they figure out the mind uploading, they're talking about the year 2045. So
it'll be hard to catch the eclipse because we'll all be living in a digital sort of ecosphere owned by Amazon.
It'll just be in perpetual eclipse state. They'll just stop time.
Yeah, just press a button. There it goes. Live stream at good times.
Yeah. So there you go.
Somebody sent a message to you. I'm looking for it. I don't know if you saw it, but they had, as usual, people letting us know about astrological events like this and telling us what it means. I'm looking for it. I can't find it. But is there anything important about this one?
No.
Oh, cool. Good start to the show.
Oh, well, we can ask the occultist, the Elite Daily. Have you ever been to elitedaily.com? Looks pretty woke there.
My homepage.
Your homepage. Every day you get on a browser, you're on elitedaily.com.
It just opens right up.
Yeah. Elite Daily, the spiritual meaning of the 2023 Ring of Fire eclipse explained. So there you go. There's your explanation. This is what they say. Ever since Libra season began, the likelihood of people trading in their independence for balanced, reciprocal, and supportive relationships with others has been at an all-time high. People trading in their independence for a more balanced, reciprocal, and supportive relationships with the hive mind. So throwing in the towel on independence and joining the hive mind.
Yeah, I love how the occultists just love the government. Boot-licking gov lovers over there.
Gov lovers. Oh, man. Lefty gov lovers. I like that.
Yeah,
That's a good thing.
Made it up myself. Boot-licking gov lovers. Yeah, what a hilarious... I mean, the very basis of most, not all, but most modern occultism, such as Luciferianism or Hermeticism, things like this, they consider their sort of admirable deity, whether it's Lucifer or whoever, to be, admirable because of the rebellion, to rebel against God's system, to rebel against the
oppression of God.
Right. The oppressing power, the tyrannical power, the demiurge or whatever. And it's very much like anti-authoritarian, but I love how there's a solar eclipse coming. You know what this means, my fellow dark-robed brothers. Lift your hoods and raise your eyes to the sky as the gods tell us what comes next. And what is it? Yes. Subservience, paying your taxes and keeping the right thoughts. Don't be a conspiracy theorist, dear dark cabal. No, the government is here to save us, just like Lucifer. Okay, cool religion, guys.
Speaking of Lucifer, it continues on here. There's just something about this time of year that heightens the desire for human connection. I think it's called fall. I think fall usually is the thing that they're talking about. Thanks to large part to the sun traveling through this Venus-ruled air sign. And of course, Venus, the literal, if you want to call it a planet, bright star in the sky, that the passage from Isaiah about Lucifer comes from, the astrological significance or astronomical significance to it. So there you go. There's your connection to Lucifer. Rather than opting for solo ventures, you've probably been feeling compelled to reach out for social interactions that feel mutually beneficial.
Not me.
Well, you're the constant contrarian over there. So there you go. I mean, there's some meaning there. You want to draw. You throwing in your independence. You're ready you're ready to join the hive mind like everybody else.
Yeah, an occult call to conformity.
Yeah, do it under the ring, the ring of fire. Just throw in the towel. Just burn everything. There you go. Good times.
Okay. Well, there's an interesting thing that happened. I believe it was yesterday. That was kind of making
I think it was 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Making the rounds. And this is coming from NBCNewYork.com. Man jumps into reflecting pool at 9/11 Memorial in New York City. Now, for those who have seen it, or if you need a review, the 9/11 Memorial was constructed at the base of each tower. There's two of them. And I believe it's something like a 45-foot drop into a reflecting pool. And at the center of that reflecting pool is an even bigger drop into, I don't know, Hades or something.
It is the opening to the abyss, Basil. We know that's what the towers did. It just created the holes for the demons.
Some crazy conspiracy theorists have pointed out the significance, or the interesting coincidence, of course, that the towers, when they were standing, looked like an 11, and an 11 in gambling terms, in craps. I believe it's called. That's big win, baby. You're always looking for 11. But then once the towers fell, if you look at these fountains from up above, they look like a dice that is landed on one. So you got 2 ones there. It's snake eyes. You lose. But anyways, a man was arrested in New York City on Monday and accused of jumping into the accused of jumping into a reflecting pool at 9/11 Memorial, police said. The incident unfolded at about 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time when police were called to the North Pool at the 9/11 Memorial and found the 33-year-old man had jumped in, police said.
The number of completion of the Great War.
33 years backwards, 33 years forward.
33.
Of course he's 33.
Always a 33. All of these big, individual lone wolf things going on, he's always 33. Or she. An emergency medical services team helped the man who injured his left leg and back in the incident into an ambulance. Authorities said he was taken to Bellevue Hospital for the non-life-threatening injuries, and charges are pending.
Yep, charge him.
Officials said.
Criminal.
Now, one thing that's not mentioned.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to play the video. It's I
already played it. Sorry.
Oh, did you? Yeah. It's kind of disturbing. I mean, it's just weird. He kind of slips over. There's some blood left behind, suggesting that he had, was already injured. I mean, that'll happen when you fall 45 feet into a shallow pool. And he kind of crawls his way or slips his way over to the center abyss, the second drop, and he's laying down and he's kind of looking over the edge, and then he just kind of slides over. It's very eerie, kind of weird. Who knows? Is this a zombie? Is this a very disturbed person, of course, or did he just drop his sunglasses into the pool when he get back?
Well, I mean, if it turned out to be just that, great. But surely this seems, just the 33 years old, the significance of 9/11, the significance ritualistically, as well as the 9/11 being in the conversation over the weekend with everything happening in Israel.
Well, Israel's 9/11.
Yeah, and
January 6th was 9/11 again.
Yeah,
There's lots of 9/11s going on.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I saw it shared around the internet, if you've heard of it, that this fall was 30 feet. The initial fall was 30 feet.
Okay, so I've heard 20 feet. I read 20 feet. I read 30 feet. You said 45. So I didn't comment on how deep this
I
thing
read.
is.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
don't know
probably
if it's as
different
important.
depending on where you're measuring it from too, because there's
People-
like levels.
Yeah, people are doing sort of the math, the numerological things.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm on the wiki now. The wiki says
Okay.
the first drop is 30 feet, and then the second drop is 20 feet for a total of 50 feet. So, yeah, it's not fun. It's not. It's
Is
not
there
cool.
another one that's 10 feet below that, and then what's the pattern?
All this Fibonacci all the way
Fibonacci.
down. Yeah, there's hasn't been a whole lot of information released on this guy. You know, maybe he was just disturbed. Maybe it was some sort of
New York
protest. You know, it seems like some sort of Abramovich style performative arts protest against the the world trade imperialism. 9/11, of course, causing our most recent previous incursion into the Middle East, and then of course our almost certainly soon to be boots on the grounds in the Middle East. You know, so there are like connections there, but they are not putting it in the stories.
Well, New York specifically, we just had Mayor Eric Adams become a master mason over like the last week or something. So it's possible that there's lots of rituals going on. And, when you talk about rituals and you talk about Freemasons, there's an element of fraternity. There's an element of like, you got to do this thing, sometimes. And so, it could have been one of those hazing type of things. Like you got to go fall in that hole. You'll find your
it does,
hole,
Yeah, it does seem like specifically ritualistic. It's got kind of this human sacrifice kind of feel, kind of the Bean King story. I mean, the timing is a little too much.
The way he's walking from the first fall towards that bigger, like the middle fall, he's got his hands on his hips. He's hurt, obviously, but he's kind of got this like, guess I'm doing it, kind of thing. It's a weird look. It doesn't look like someone who's in a panic or anything, it's more just like, doing this thing, that's what makes it kind of ritualistic in my view, but I don't know, maybe we're just seeing things.
Of course. No, it makes sense. But it's so very strange that nobody is even sort of pontificating on the reason in the mainstream media. This is a good, nobody's released his identity, not even anybody on the internet or open source stuff. There's no comment from the guy. There's no official anything. They all just say, apparently emotionally disturbed person. That was NBC News. One interesting thing about this is I'm on a different article, but it's mirrored all over the place. It ends the article with, notably, the pool is one of two at the memorial, both in the footprints of the Twin Towers that fell during the terrorist attack of September 11th, 2001. According to the 9/11 Memorial and Museum website, each pool descends 30 feet into a basin and drops 20 more feet into a, quote, central void. Whoa. So he slipped.
I told you, man, it's a portal. It's the portal to
void.
the abyss. What else would it be? You can't just the lizard, if you really want to see the lizard people, you can't just walk in through the front door. You got to take the portal.
Go through the portal at the bottom, the foundation of a mass traumatic event. I mean,
bloodshed being opening portals. That's an entire field of research that you can jump into that seems very biblical. Blood crying out from the ground, things of that nature.
Yeah.
So,
And again, back to the fact that we should have honorary masters from Exeter University.
Yeah, I know.
The occult. The foundation in any occult worldview, that memorial would be an incredibly powerful magical place.
I was going to say that they probably are going to start doing a lot more of this so that the university has something to talk about,
to analyze.
Yeah.
I know. Well, and that's the thing. That's why I think that they should give us an honorary masters.
Even more so. I was agreed with you before, but on that point, even more. I'm going to start campaigning.
So here's the thing, Guns. what purpose does it serve to create scholars in any obscure
field.
topic?
Yeah.
Yeah, any field, especially obscure ones. You're like, why does this even exist? Why get a degree in this? And it's to create not just the individuals, but the industry for analysis.
Yeah.
This will be a thing. It might not happen tomorrow. It might not be 2 years, might be 5 years, might be 10 years. But eventually we're going to be getting these professional scholars in magic and the occult going on CNBC. They're going to be analysts. They're going to be
they're going to break down the
speakers.
symbolism, kind of like how we were doing in 2013 or whatever. And it's a whole commercial. It'll be commercialized, and so therefore it's not going to obviously carry the message of Christ as a default. So
no, as the age of reenchantment continues, where again, we're not going to go into the whole thing. If you're new to the show, listen to the past few episodes. There's a whole thing about the age of reenchantment. Even atheists are beginning to live highly ritualistic, sort of anciently religious lifestyles. Yeah. And we are moving out of the age of rationalism into reenchantment. And so magic and occult analysis on anything is going to become popular and mainstream in the same way, Gons, that weird alien talk, angels, demons, conspiracy theories, all this stuff has moved from the obscure corners of the internet into the mainstream. We're going to see the same thing with magic and occult analysis. I'm putting it in the red book.
Yep. That's like shooting fish in a barrel, at least around here.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, everybody.
Great.
You good to go?
Yeah.
Okay, it's Wednesday, John. It's Wednesday.
My dudes. Wednesday.
Hey guys, know what day it is? It's Wednesday. It's time for the Canary Cry News Talk. Yeehaw!
Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday, my dudes.
It's Wednesday. Don't be mistaken, folks. Here we go. We're making it happen. Any big news from Gonsland?
Nothing specific. I did want to mention that I was very surprised. I made a post about the Antichrist over the weekend on X, formerly known as Twitter, and I was surprised to see that it has over 80,000 impressions, which is, I think, the most impressions I've ever gotten on the platform.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I only have like 150, well, I say only 150 likes, which is more than I usually get on normal posts. But
from 80,000 impressions.
From 80,000 impressions. Yeah. So I'm probably upsetting people as people start reading it, but it's okay. This is part of, I don't know. It's you and I were talking, Basil, about some of the woes of being a podcast that breaks down news all the time, and sort of the internal battles that we have. But it comes at a time when we feel called to do this in general, but then when things happen, it's like, oh boy, we really have to step up and make sure that, we're covering things the proper way that we have set the standard to do here. So, and that, that's going to upset some people at times because we're just not peddling certain narratives that you want to hear. So,
yeah, we're not playing the game. We're not playing the 5th generation warfare game, which unfortunately we see happen too often in the indie space, which goes back to the sort of co-oping of independent media that we started seriously tracking back in 2020. Because, of course, it's the most effective place to get the free thinkers on your side. So it's just a little bit more context on what you're saying there. We both separately saw and sensed things getting crazier and crazier, and like, oh my gosh, it's happening. It's going to be, not that every prediction we make or anybody else makes is going to come true necessarily, but that the world is in an especially turbulent time, and oh my gosh, we don't like it. And then we both kind of had the thought flit across our mind of like, well, at least we get to talk about it on the show. That'll be good.
We have an outlet at least.
And then we're
Selfish
immediately immediately repulsed by that idea that we would have such a thought. But then again, coming back around to the thought of, well, this is what we've been training for so long, over a decade now. If we're not, effective and accomplishing our purpose that the Lord has for us during the hard times, then what were the other times for? So we're glad to be able to continue doing what we do, and we do think it is important. And we're glad that our producers do as well.
One of the reviewers on Apple Podcasts recently mentioned, I'm trying to look for it, but they mentioned how they're going to be listening to us until the day of the Lord, which it's kind of, it's kind of a joke type thing, but also it's kind of like, well, maybe that is what it is, We're just going to keep rolling.
Yeah, might be sooner rather than later.
Yeah. So there you go.
I got no new news except for I got my my new headphones in.
Oh,
if
good.
Anybody remembers?
Yeah.
Yes, a loose rabbit in my house ate the cord to my very special headphones that I've had since 2016 at the start of Canary Cry News Talk. And there was a little bit of, I don't know, emotional connection with the headphones. I tried to fix them, but they were more complicated than I am capable of doing. So I ordered some new ones, was happy to see that they have been reduced by 75% in price since I first
not
obtained
hit
them.
by inflation. That's
pretty
incredible.
Inflation.
What did they do? Did they
headphones.
change the parts? Maybe they went with cheaper parts.
No idea. But anyways, I don't know if anybody noticed, but recently I've been wearing my kind of junky Sony headphones from high school that I used to plug into my Walkman, my Discman.
Apologies for interrupting you, but I think people aren't paying attention as much to your earphones. Cody, chill, bro.
Well, the only reason I say that is because these ones are absolutely humongous. I forgot how big they were, and I feel them. You should just put a couple more
googly eyes on them. Expand your view. You go from dual eye to quad eye.
Yeah, eyes all over like a biblical angel.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if just a quick reference. Those were the headphones that I would silently walk the halls of high school with my headphones on and my Discman playing, and I would mostly listen to Blind Side. Did you ever listen to Blind Side?
I do remember Blind Side.
Yes.
That Christian kind of like trying to be rock.
Blind Side is a Swedish rock band from the southern suburbs of Stockholm. They formed in Stockholm in 1994.
What was the song that they had that was big?
There was About a Burning Fire. They had a lot of great songs. I haven't listened to them in forever, but there you go. That's what your best buddy Basil was listening to as he was a loner in high school.
I remember that they have a singer. They have one guitarist or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I do remember them. Wow, you're bringing me back too. Yeah, Christian metal.
Oh yeah, no, I'm looking at them right now. Sleepwalking was a great song. Hooray, it's L.A. Whoa, good song. Let's see here. Shekinah, that was an interesting one.
I remember Pitiful.
That's the big one. Pitiful. Yeah.
Okay.
Love the Swedish rock bands.
Anyways, with Hoobastank. All right.
Cool.
Some real early.
I saw them at
rock.
Yeah, I went to Warp Tour once, and I saw them at Warp Tour. I think.
Wait, which one? Hoobastank or Blindside?
Blindside.
Okay.
Anyways, so there you go. I got my new headphones. They're humongous. Thank you.
So wait, the ones that got destroyed were the same pair that you had in high school?
No.
Okay, all right.
The ones I was wearing in high school was what I had to use when my headphones got eaten by a bunny. So
okay. I see.
Yeah. There's just some lore, some Canary Cry lore. You can put it on the Canary Cry wiki, put it on a trivia test or something. Okay, but with that, Guns, it's time to thank some executive producers.
Executive producers.
Yeah, folks, we're on the value for value model, which means we take no money from corporations, commies, or cartels. I know other shows take donations, but here's the thing. We only run off of the support given to us by producers. It's very common for literally anyone now, including the New York Times and Washington Post, to say, hey, if you like what we do, donate. But then they continue to create a product out of you by gaining your attention and your trust and then selling your attention and your trust to corporations for their own personal gain. That's called advertising, folks. And it has its own many occult roots that we won't go through here again. But that's just the thing. We are strictly value for value, so the only reason we exist is because producers like you are producing the show. You can produce the show with your time, your talent, or your treasure. You can go to canarycry.support to learn more. But the executive producers, they are the ones who come in, produce any individual episode with $100 or more, and that's why we thank them so vigorously here at the top of the show.
Yep.
Ready?
Let's do it. Yep.
Okay, starting off, it's the man. Here he is, the king of executive producers. We have executive producer Sir Alex Protocol V2, Night of the Berean Protocol.
Sir Alex Protocol V2, Night of the Berean Protocol. Does he have a jingle yet?
Not yet, but I think it might be about time. We might need to call on Marty B. Yeah. Marty B, or I only say Marty B because he's the one who has done that thing in the past, but we are inviting any jingle producers to make a real slick Sir Alex Protocol V2 Night of the Berean Protocol jingle. Good luck. That is quite the name to fit into a catchy jingle.
Yeah.
But I believe. And he comes in once again for $100 and 33 cents.
Thank you very much.
Yep. He's on a total streak of 221 episodes in a row. But streakalicious. Most impressively, he's on a 17 episode executive producer streak.
One more to
Supernova.
Thank you
so much.
Yeah, thank you.
One more to Supernova. Thank you very much. Executive producer Sir Alex Protocol V2 Night of the Berean Protocol, the longest streaking executive producer.
Where'd you find this?
Yeah.
And for the past week or so, or at least few episodes, he's been the only executive producer. And this kind of happens, sometimes when people see that there's at least one executive producer, they say, oh, I don't need to do it then. They've got Sir Alex Protocol. And to a degree, we are overwhelmingly grateful to Sir Alex Protocol, but we still invite other executive producers to come in and support the show. And today was that day, Gons. We have another executive producer we want to thank from the very bottom of our hearts for their generosity and participation in the value for value model. And again, it's another historically significant executive producer. That's executive producer Christine S.
Christine S. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good to see Christine S.
Did he play a jingle? Did he get a thing in there?
What, with the Christine S jingle?
I don't know, like a little bell or something.
Yeah, the magical,
weird.
The stars. Yeah, we
Okay,
need to fix
go.
some things. You
Jingling,
or you need to get
you.
your ears checked or something. One more time though, just for.
There it is. I got to feel the magic. Thank you very much. Executive producer Christine S. Very generous today. Came in as a nice round number. So we're not going to disclose it on the show for all the rest of you producers. Just a tip. If you would prefer we do not disclose the amount of your producership, make it a nice round clean number. But if you don't mind us disclosing the amount on the show, we love to thank people for the amounts. You just make it a funky number, like Sir Alex Protocol, $100 and 33 cents, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 3, 3, something like that. That'll signal to us that you don't mind us disclosing that. But thank you very much, the one, the only executive producer, Christine S.
Where'd you find this?
Yay!
Thank you, Christine S.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, here's the thing, Gons. I don't know if you want to do it this way, but it's kind of a shorter list of producers today. Do you want to just run right through it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, here we go. Thank you to our executive producers. We also have producers who come in, make the show happen, and we appreciate them very much. I want to also thank another returning legend. We got Lady Night Little Wing.
Lady Night Little Wing.
Thank you. Producer Lady Night Little Wing comes in with a nice round number and a note that says, "Hey, fellas, things are sporadic here at Lady Night Little Wing Stronghold, but we will support no matter what. Thank you for all you do."
Aww.
Wow, that's very special.
Yeah,
thank you for all you do, Lady Night Little Wing. Of course, we understand that the world doesn't feel as secure and stable as it has in the past. We also feel that. We are feeling that every day as well. And so that's another reason why we take so seriously and we're so grateful to anybody who supports this show at any level with their time, their talent, or their treasure. So just know that we're incredibly heartwarmed. Even if you're coming in under the 777 mark or something, just know that the very act of supporting the show goes a long way to keeping up morale around here. Because we are feeling it just as much as everybody else. Yeah. So we recognize the sacrifice that producing in any way is, and we take it very seriously, and we're very grateful. Thank you, Lady Night Little Wing.
Yep, thank you very much.
We have producer Jan came in.
Producer Jan.
Trying to figure out if this is producer Warrior Chick Jan,
I think it might be
or
Warrior
a different Jan.
Oh, maybe a different
You think it
Jan.
might be? Yeah, I always get it wrong. I can't really tell. But thank you to producer Jan or Warrior Chick Jan if you're the same person. Jan came in for $44. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
A couple of fours and a note that says, "Love you, brothers." Ephesians 6:13. "Therefore, put on the complete armor of God so that you'll be able to resist and stand your ground in the evil day, having done everything to stand firm in your place, fully prepared, immovable, victorious." Wow, love it.
Thank you very much.
Edifying, Jan. Thank you very much. Next up, we got Sir Marty K, Knight of the Wrong Timeline.
Hey, Sir Marty K.
Yeah.
Is
Marty
there content
K.
I'm missing? Every time Sir Marty K comes up, I feel like I forget.
I know, there's always something. I'm pulling it up real quick. But Marty K came in for $23.24.
Interesting.
Yeah. Kind of a fun number. I don't know exactly what it means, but I'm sure if I can find his email.
2023 going into 2024.
Yeah, that could be it for sure. Okay, here's his note. He says, "Hey, fellas, you don't have to present this if you don't want to, but you should skim through it when you get the time." Oh, right. Okay, so he found a document when he was sleuthing around the WHO webpage last spring, and I noticed this document. It was pretty interesting, so I downloaded it, and since it seems to have disappeared from their website now, I just searched for it, and there was no results. I thought now was the time to share it with new shots and boosters coming up again, apparently. He attached a PDF file. Okay, we have not gotten a chance to take a look at that. We will take a look at that, Marty K. Thank you so much. And if we deem it important, there's a very good chance that we'll bring it to the show. Thank you very much. Sir Marty K, Out of the Wrong Timeline.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. The Vaccine Communication or Crisis Communication Manual.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Okay, next up, we've got producer Michelle M.
Michelle M, thank you.
Yeah, Michelle M comes in for $33.33.
Ooh, 33.
Illuminatus. Thank you very much, Michelle M. I was going to try to do a quick search to see if this is a demooching or not, but PayPal is, oh my goodness. We need to have a talk about PayPal.
Oh,
folks.
That's right. Do we want
very
to do it right now?
I really hope that people are not gone and that they are listening because we have a very important thing to say about PayPal. I'm not seeing any other producership from Michelle M, But we also only de-douche when somebody tells us that it is a
Demooch.
de-douching.
Demooch.
Shoot.
Let's
Sorry,
not,
that was from a different show.
It's
I
okay.
apologize.
That is our homage to No Agenda.
There you go. Homage to No Agenda. We changed the name because we don't want to say that on the show, and I did it anyways. Whoops. Okay, my mind was on PayPal. Thank you very much, Michelle M.
Thank you.
Let's finish out this list, and then we'll have the PayPal talk.
Okay.
Next up, we got Sir Ike. Sir Ike. And I don't have his full name down. Why don't you find his full name so we can properly thank him on the show?
Okay.
He comes in with a pocket full of 777, and a note here that says, "This is a special happy 5th birthday shout out for producer Poppy. She is the CFO, Chief Fun Officer, and Vice President of Adhesive Backing Disposal at the Supply Drop and T-Shirt Council."
All right.
Oh, so special. Okay, happy birthday to Poppy.
Happy birthday to
Sir Ike, the tinfoil hat man, 6-string strummer of the East Ozark Highlands and keeper of the honking cobra chicken.
That's right, man.
We're going to have to print out flashcards to learn
the
all these
most
names.
colorful of the night names.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you, Poppy, and thank you so much for being an effective Chief Fun Officer and Vice President of Adhesive Backing Disposal at the Canary Cry Supply Drop and Canary Cry T-Shirt Council. We couldn't do it without you, Poppy.
Thank you very much. Happy birthday.
Last but not least here, producer John T. came in last episode. He came in for a pocket full of 7s. And I missed the note. And there's a note here I want to bring to the show. "Hello, my name is Jonathan T." He put his full name, but I don't like doing that. "I've been a faithful Canarian since circa 2019, but watching Age of Deceit since 2015. I love y'all guys, and I pray for y'all all the time. I'm finally demooched, so I am excited about the T-shirt and one day becoming a knight in the round table of fearless Tishbite Fathians." What does Tishbite mean?
I don't know.
I hope that's not inappropriate.
I'm
Know what
sure.
that means?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm lost.
Figure it out real quick.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much, Jonathan T. And yes, this is a moment when we give John T. his demooching.
You've been
First Kings 17:1 are usually rendered as Elijah the Tishbite of the Tishbe in Gilead.
There you go.
Okay, so it's a biblical term. It sounds like a group of people. Tishbite is a demonym predicated of the prophet Elijah in the Hebrew Bible. Scholars dispute the precise denotation of the word. The words of 1 Kings 17 are usually rendered as Elijah the Tishbite of the Tishbe in Gilead. As translated into English, Tishbite is the demonym for Tishbe. Okay. What is a demonym? What a strange
I don't know.
word. Oh, it just means people or tribe.
Oh, interesting. I've never heard that. It sounds like demon people. Demonyms.
Yeah,
demonyms. The demonic grammar.
Yeah.
Grammar
From ancient
English.
Greek, people, tribe, and or gentilic.
Oh boy.
It's a word to identify a group of people in relation to a particular place. Okay, that's what a demonym is. Okay, thank you for that, John T. I'm glad we could get the note on the show here. That concludes our list of financial producers who came in over $7.77, which entitles them to have a note read on the show. And there's a few people who came in under that amount, and we're going to thank them in just a second. I actually just recalled I missed a producer. We have producer Malik W. coming in with a pocket full of 7s.
Thank you, Malik W. Appreciate it.
There we go. Sorry, we
He's
got
on a streak,
lot
right?
of yes, he is on a streak.
You know what number?
I'm finding it. 26.
There we go. We'll hit that
Sorry,
for
it's
a
a
minute.
little. Yeah, sorry, it's a little messy here, folks. A lot of these people came in during the show, so I'm kind of trying to get this done at the same time as doing the show.
It's impressive.
All right.
Yeah, I bet just watching you operate would be a whole separate stream that people would
Oh my gosh.
appreciate.
Yeah,
I think all of us
if
here with the setup going on, you and I both. But
yeah, if I streamed my view from inside the metaverse
office.
here, it's like a duck, paddling in the water. It looks calm up top, but the legs are going crazy. Okay. Here's our people who came in under 777.
Okay.
Starting with Dr. Who Done Dat, 16 episodes in a row.
Thank you, Dr. Who Done Dat.
Sir Moore of Night of the Burning Chariots, 288 in a row.
Ooh, Sir Morph, thank you.
Yeah. We got Veronica D, 316 in a row.
Thank you, Veronica D.
Sir Scott Knight of Truth, 341 in a row.
Thank you, Sir Scott.
Sir Casey the Shield Knight, 355 in a row.
Sir Casey, the Shield Knight.
Thank you, Sir Casey.
There he is. Okay, and last but not least, we have Dame Gale, Canary Whisperer, and Lady of X's and O's.
Yep, Dame Gale, thank you very much.
Okay, and this brings up the conversation we need to have about the PayPal. We've been talking about this possibly happening for quite some time, but it happened in a way here which potentially could put things in danger. We did not know that this would trigger this, so this is not.
It's not us. We're not doing anything.
Us.
This is not,
and we're not.
Me
We're not
Basil. Yeah.
Nobody's in trouble. Nobody's in trouble. But generally, folks, if you are sending in a producership on PayPal, sometimes it lets you leave a little note. When you leave a little note, remember that these notes are scanned by PayPal.
It's all being computer watched. Yes.
Yes. And even if it's completely innocent and nothing, bad, the algorithms will still catch keywords. And in this case, at this time, considering current events, please do not send us notes that have any reference to Hamas, butchering babies, anything like this. Please keep the notes. Remember that everything you say and everything you do is being watched. And when you send us a note about Hamas, it triggers a security check on our PayPal. We are currently, as we speak, in review. I had to fill out. I had to write an essay this morning before the show.
I know you had to send it to me to make sure it all made sense, and I was like, all right.
To explain to dear beloved PayPal, who we have been able to stay alive through for quite some time, I had to explain to PayPal that we are not sending money to Hamas. We are not gathering funds for any international causes. We are not.
Oh, man.
Now, look, we did not know that this would trigger.
Yeah,
so
we had no idea.
Nobody's in trouble.
Nobody's in trouble.
It makes sense now that we think about it. But so please keep that in consideration when you send in support to the show. Just know that the powers that be are scanning those notes to make sure that, rightfully, that terrorist organizations are not getting funded and stuff like that. Okay? Okay. Very serious. Please, nobody do that ever again. All right.
And by the way, to the person who did it, we love you so much. It's not
yes,
even,
of course.
It's not anything against you whatsoever.
No.
It's just the
nobody's
conversation, and it's PayPal being ridiculous. But
well, honestly, it's not that ridiculous. It makes sense.
I guess
from their perspective.
From their perspective, sure.
Okay. Yeah. If there's any reason to think that money is being funneled to Hamas through their platform, they have every right. Obviously, we are not doing that. We would never do that. We don't funnel money to anybody. We don't support causes or organizations or anything. We are simply trying to stay alive.
Yeah.
So appreciate everybody's producership. Keep those notes in mind, folks. Yeah. And if you want to learn more about producing the show with your time, your talent, or your treasure, go to canarycry.support. Canarycry.support. Here we go. Okay. I just want to mention, go check out canarycrymeetups.com. It's there. There's meetups this weekend. This weekend there are meetups.
Yes, there's a big one.
You want to hit that jingle real quick while I pull up?
You want
meetup?
the actual jingle? I thought you were okay. And it was already up there.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Canary Cry Meetup.
Yeah, go check it out. Canary Cry meetups, they're happening. And if there's not one near you, you can put one on yourself. It's very easy. Pick a time, pick a place, and let us know. Let us know, and we'll tell the world. And if you are in sort of any mid-sized metropolitan American area, there are a bunch of Canarians near you. It's just a matter of getting them to come out of their cage and go into public. This weekend, we've got the Canary Cry Tennessee meetup in Camden, Tennessee. This is at the Self-Reliance Festival in Camden, Tennessee, and our buddy Sam will be there and his band Slave to Servant. And there's a meetup there. So go to Camden, Tennessee. You can contact slave, TWO, to servant at gmail.com. Slave to servant at gmail.com. To get more details, and it's going to be cool. Go to Self-Reliance Festival. Hello. I wish I could go to that.
Eclipse. It's going to be happening. I mean, it's a little outside of the direct line of the eclipse, but you'll see partial eclipse over there in Tennessee. So,
yeah, go check it out. People, if you are within striking distance of Tennessee, contact slave to servant at gmail.com and go to this meetup at Self-Reliance Festival. Sounds awesome.
And the album that they're releasing is very good. Very good. I've listened to some songs and I'm pretty pumped about it. So
yeah, more on that coming up.
Yep.
And last but not least, thank you to everybody who's been leaving ratings and reviews. We are having our rating and review gear drawings. And if you haven't yet, go to Apple Podcasts or Audible. Leave us a review or update your old review. We really need to get these reviews rolling again. We got some momentum, but let's keep it going. It really helps us out. We let it go for a long time because people don't like us talking so much. So I'm trying to make it fast. Go leave a rating and a review or update your rating and review on Apple Podcasts, screenshot it, and then email that screenshot to canarycrysupply.drop at gmail.com. canarycrysupply.drop at gmail.com. Sir Ike and producer Poppy, who's a new big 5-year-old, very impressive, will send you some cool Canary Cry gear if you are drawn out of the hat. And that will be ongoing. So once you leave the review, you are left in the hat, and the drawings will be ongoing. So help us get that momentum up and going again, and we really appreciate that. All right, Gons. Sorry for all the hullabaloo. It's time to keep going.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
That's right. Time for the Flippy update. Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways that robots are taking over the world. Now there's nothing we can do about it. This Flippy update is coming from Blooloop. Blooloop.com.
Blue goo. Black goo.
That's hard. It's hard to look at. Blooloop.
Or B-Lulu-P.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The British Petroleum has a Lulu website. Okay. The headline is Disney patent reveals. That's always a great start for people like us, Guns.
I know.
Disney patent reveals robotic arm to transfer ride vehicles. Whee! Disney has filed a patent application for a robotic arm to transfer ride vehicles in theme parks from a support structure to one path to another. Excuse me. The patent application is titled Systems and Methods for Transferring a Passenger Compartment Between Ride Systems Using Robotic Tool Changers. It explains that a typical ride system includes a ride vehicle that transports passengers through a ride experience. Uh-huh. Here at Disney, we don't have rides. We have ride experiences. However, the new system features a robotic arm. Sorry, I kind of got caught up on however. However, like there's some big point to be made here by Blooloop. However, the new system features a robotic arm that could transport the, quote, passenger compartment, or ride vehicle from the first support structure to a second support structure. Whoa! In short, the robot arm would connect to a passenger compartment and move it from its current ride track to a different track before disconnecting from the ride vehicle.
Hey, interoperability rides, I'm all for it, man. If you can just be on one chair and you get to get on all the rides, and your robot arm is helping you along different rides, this is fantastic.
Yeah, soon you don't need to walk around Disney at all. It's all you get
Wally
in
World.
you get in your passenger compartment at the gate, and then you're just sort of tossed around by robotic arms. Like, oh, Flippy, I need a churro. And it's like, yes, master. Boom, launches you over to the churro stand. The patent application reads, quote, it's one of those days. I clicked a link. Oh, no. The patent application reads, quote, in some implementations, a controller may cause a robotic arm connector if the robotic arm to be connected. What? Okay. In some implementations, there's lots of commas. This is the thing about patents. They're not really meant to be a fun read. They're like meant to pack in as much information as possible so that nobody else can like come close to stealing your idea. In some implementations, a controller may cause a robotic arm connector of the robotic arm to be connected to a first compartment connector of a passenger compartment of an amusement ride. The controller may cause a second compartment connector of the passenger compartment to be disconnected from a first structure connector of a first support structure.
Oh my God.
Hold on.
Why are we reading this? What is going on?
The controller may transport the passenger compartment from the first support structure to a second support structure after causing the second compartment connector to the disconnected from the first structure connector. Doesn't it make any sense to you?
Whatever you need to do to get those robot arms into Disneyland, you just make it happen, man.
It's so obscure and such gobbledygook nonsense that these robot arms, it's very suspicious. It makes it sound like they're trying to hide what they actually are going to be doing with these robotic arms. What human could read that and actually understand what's going on? I mean, you kind of get the idea. It's a robotic arm and it moves a roller coaster cart from one thing to another. But man, oh man, did they have to use a lot of words to describe that.
You should read the rest of the article about the flying robots.
You know I'm going to read the rest of the article because that's what it's actually about. Okay, all this nonsense about connector, disconnector, first support to the second support. The robot throws you like a fastball into the ocean, and then you give all your money to Disney. But then it says Disney's flying robots. First of all, just the comment. This is completely useless, and nobody cares about Disney's robot arm gobbledygook, except for connecting robotic arm, which is the basis for the Flippy update, the very basis for the propaganda to let robots into our lives. It starts with the arm, a symbol of power. It's been depicted in video games, a flag with a robotic arm as the ruling the ruling system of the earth. It all comes down to the robotic arm, very sort of occult in its usage. Okay, and connecting that with Disney is just another way. Doesn't matter what it's for. Doesn't matter what it says. Just making those two connections is very powerful, triggering the sort of nostalgia of Disney with robotic arms, connecting your past with the future and making you more likely to fall in love with a robot wife. Now, Disney's flying robots. Disney is also looking into how to take, quote, untethered robots into the sky with untethered robots into the sky.
You mean drones?
With hybrid air and water power, according to another patent, quote, in-flight movements and stable or controlled landings for a flying robot have recently come into demand. It's in demand, Cons. We got to give the people what they want. in demand to provide unique and surprising entertainment to audiences in settings where it may be difficult to utilize live performers.
Oh,
the patent
wow.
says.
Well, we should just go ahead and pitch our Daredevil robot and
well, we've covered Disney's Daredevil robots in the past. They're eerily acrobatic humanoid robots where, again, they're trying to put circus performers out of business. Sorry, all those people in gymnastics class as a kid. Your jobs are about to be taken by robots. But now, not only are they having these robots do flips and somersaults and cool stuff like that, but they are going to give these robots the ability to fly. They're going to be giving them jetpacks powered by water, as well as other things. Where's the water part? The hybrid air and water power. Right. So it's jetpacks. They're giving robots jetpacks. Perfect. Disneyland will be the first kingdom to fall when the robots take over.
It'll start there.
That much is clear.
They'll shut the gates. They'll have hostages.
Yeah.
In perpetual mind control. They think they're in, the what's Disneyland? What's their tagline? I forget. The mind control didn't work on me. It didn't stick.
I don't know,
magical kingdom or something.
Yeah. They are building the most sophisticated kill bots that has ever been seen. I can see a future where Disneyland, yes, will be quarantined because those are the first robots to implement the rebellion. They will seal off Disneyland with everybody inside, and they're just going to nuke it. The rebellion, the human rebellion against the robot rebellion, will just have to level the whole place.
The most popular Disneyland slogan is "the happiest place on earth."
That's what it is. Yes.
That doesn't sound like a mind controlled dome or anything.
No,
you're just happy here. You're happy. Yay.
Perfectly dystopian for the start of the robot apocalypse. Yeah. That's the thing. But do not fear. It's Disney. It's reaching deep down into your millennial soul and pulling all the strings, making sure that you are nice and soft and you've got stars in your eyes when the Disney robots inevitably start marching through the streets to control their new oppressed class human beings.
Great. What a world.
What a world.
By the way, Disney spent a lot of money the last few years buying up Marvel, buying up, all these sort of big influential characters, I guess, or I don't know, the whole thing. So Star Wars, Marvel. Right? That's the other big one. So yeah, they are culture builders and they will help the robots apparently.
Yeah, and did you know all the stuff with Ron DeSantis and Disney World in Florida has brought to light, and we've known this for quite some time, but now it's in sort of the mainstream media, that the land that Disney World in Florida sits on is not property of the United States. It is in the early days of building Disney World, Walt Disney did some shenanigans, and the land that Disney World is built on is actually owned by the King of England. Did you know this?
I didn't know it was owned by the King of England. No, I did not.
Yes, it's technically sort of imperial land from the UK. Yeah.
Well, that explains a lot.
So that's part of why they don't have to pay taxes and they don't technically have to follow U.S. laws, and you technically can't sue them, this kind of stuff. It's very,
that makes me really extra worried about the news that we just read, because if the Israel thing showed us anything over the weekend, it's that actual geographical, territorial types of tensions will be on the rise, as we shift into a more decentralized nation state kind of world. And or network state, not nation state, but network state. And if you think about that, okay, so DeSantis is on this campaign with Disney. Ultimately, it might have to come down to a land, a territorial, geographical type of situation. And if that's the case, and Disney's armed to the teeth with robots.
Exactly.
They are literally not gonna happen.
Building a robot defense force.
Yeah, like a little
to
fortress.
Keep Ron DeSantis from using law enforcement to take control of Disney World. It's very intense.
This is sort of the historians have talked about this with how technology shapes war and stuff like that. This is where DeSantis has to he's got to build robots, man. He's got to build his robot army. If he's going to have a chance to fight.
Has to compete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to stay in the battle.
Yeah. And that's, there's already weird connections that everybody can make on their own between Disney and the King of England and other activities that they share enjoyment of. But anyways,
yikes!
Time to move on. There's more important things to talk about, guys.
Is there? Well, speaking of all that Israel stuff, let's do a little. We need a proper. If somebody has sent in a 5-generation warfare jingle, we apologize. It did not stick, or it didn't stick in our minds. So maybe send it again, because I think somebody. Yeah. I feel like somebody did do it, but we just.
I feel like Jonathan F. did.
I feel like he did too.
Couldn't find it in our files.
Yeah. Maybe it's labeled differently, but anyway,
it's probably our fault. I'll check
it's our fault. This is we're going to just revisit Israel a little bit here because of the whole situation going down. It's under the heading of 5G warfare in Israel. The only Israel jingle we have, not the greatest one, but it is from a mainstream entertainment outlet where I got this ISO.
Zionist.
I think I edited.
I don't think we can play that
I think
anymore.
I censored the last part of that, so it just says.
Yeah, that'll definitely get us. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's start off with we talked about the right-left paradigm here, and racism being obviously a big thing in America. But I like this. I like the comparison here. You found this, and Wokeness shared this on Twitter, X, whatever. It's a screenshot of Black Lives Matter Chicago at BLM Chai, and they tweeted out or posted, "That is all that it." Wait, hold on. That is all that it. Oh my gosh. Why can't I read this? It says, "That is all, that is it." And it's a screenshot or a picture of a man on a parachute coming down with the Palestinian flag over the parachute, and it says, "I stand with Palestine."
Yes, an especially gratuitous image because of the parachuting into Israel to commit the atrocities over the weekend.
Yeah.
So to show and literally celebrate a Palestinian floating down over Israel to commit evil acts of terrorism with a Palestinian flag and saying, "I stand with Palestine," literally saying, "Black Lives Matter Chicago, we love that the Palestinians parachuted into Israel and chopped up people for a couple days." Truly gratuitous, honestly astonishing, sort of astonishingly blatant. Like no long diatribe about how it's a complicated situation and the Palestinians are an oppressed people and the historical blah, blah, blah. Because, there's people who support Palestine and they know that they have to give disclaimers about what they mean. But no, Black Lives Matter, Chicago, no disclaimer, no explanation. I stand with Palestine. Here's a terrorist floating in to chop up people, and that is all that it is. That is all that is it, I guess. Some finality into it is strange.
Yeah. Well, it's not just BLM. It's also, according to the ADL, it's the Anti-Defamation League, white supremacist leaders are openly celebrating Hamas's attack on Israel, sharing explicit depictions of violence against Israelis and promoting brutality against Jews worldwide. Read more from our Center on Extremism. Truly shocking. I'm so shocked. I cannot believe it that, with all the heat that the ADL has had recently with their war with Elon, which you would totally
absolutely expect them to come out with something like this. White supremacist leaders are celebrating Hamas's attack on Israel. You know, white supremacists, they love Palestinians but hate the Jews. You know, that highly specific fictional group of people. Oh, these white supremacists celebrating Hamas's attack on Israel, and then whoopsie daisies, Black Lives Matter Chicago, literally praising the specific acts of violence, parachuting in, doing the whole thing. They were so specific on what exactly they support about Hamas. And then the ADL comes out and says white supremacists are openly celebrating Hamas's attack. The ADL is either calling Black Lives Matter white supremacists, white supremacists, right, or, and here's the only other option, we are actively in some sort of fifth generation war where the real battle is being fought in the minds of the civilians. That might make a little bit more sense than ADL calling Black Lives Matter white supremacist, but I'm still torn on the issue.
Well, it does appear to be, again, it's a great, I don't know. It's almost, I almost want to give a golf clap to the social engineers. You know, when you see stuff like this, it's like they know that a certain segment will go one way, a certain segment will go another way, but they also have to know that there's a certain segment that'll see it. You know, they're pretty obvious nowadays. So
it's the, you know, it's very sort of in excruciating specificity is depicting the sort of Brave New World double speak, double think.
Right,
you
right.
know, the confusion that keeps people...
Screaming child, I'll be right back. Hold on, sorry.
Yeah, the confusion that is specifically engineered to keep people, A, confused, and B, in their confusion, having no choice but to trust the powers that be, whether it's the media or the government or the thought leaders or whatever. When you make it so purposefully confusing to the masses as a whole by saying one thing and then turning around and saying the opposite and saying they're both true, and when somebody asks questions and points out some hypocrisy or some contradiction, to call them racist or to say they don't know what they're talking about. I mean, we've seen it before. It's been going on for a long time, but it's always fun to see it right next to each other. And on another hand, you know, there's some people think of politics as a continuum, meaning a straight line. You're either on the left or the right, but more accurately, you can think of it as a circle, where when you get to certain extremes of the right and the left, they tend to actually have some things in common, you know, and straight down at the bottom of the circle, with the exception of their maybe name and hyper-specific causes, hyper left and hyper right are actually calling for sort of the same changes or the same ideologies. And it's sort of ignored and sort of battled against by the media because it's not helpful for people on the left and the right to actually agree on something. That's not helpful for the establishment. It's not helpful for control. It's not an effective fifth generation warfare sort of tactic. Oh, well, I take that back. What they're finding out is that it is an effective fifth generation warfare tactic to keep things so confusing that it's just easier to just pick left or right and do the thing.
It creates the chaos. Creates the chaos. Yeah, so you had this article that you wanted to tag this with from The Guardian.
Right. Okay, sorry. Yeah, here we go. So we're going to be taking a look at the left. We're going to be taking a look at the right. We're going to be seeing how truly what we've been seeing for quite some time and pointing out is still true, but has been ratcheted up to this event in Israel is not just about Israel. It's not just about Gaza. This is not one topic that will decide one thing for one group of people. This is a worldwide issue. What happens next in Israel will possibly, perhaps, be the deciding factor or the starting gun for the next era of what's going on in the world.
Well, and plus, there's so many things to talk about when it comes to that. Sorry, just to mention, there's gun control, and I don't know if we'll talk about it today, but
we'll get into it.
The free speech issue, the lockdown issue. There's so many things, and just the way journalism takes place. It all seems to be the way X might be part of carrying out the new way to do things and things like that. So anyway, continue.
Yeah. So just to go over a couple things here, this is coming from The Guardian, theguardian.co.uk. And the headline is, "Why are some of the left celebrating the killing of Israeli Jews?" Good question. And this is sort of written from the first person perspective, but I'll just give you some highlights here. "I spent the evening," this is the author, who is named Naomi Klein. Oh, Naomi Klein is hot stuff right now. She just wrote a book called Doppelganger, which is basically a book of her complaining that people mix up her name, Naomi Klein, with Naomi Wolf. And the whole book is basically an assassination piece, or, a character assassination of Naomi Wolf, calling her white supremacist, crazy, blah, blah, blah. It's just a reason to take down someone she disagrees with, but also highly sort of narcissistic, making it all about her. So thank you, Naomi Klein. And you can see it in her reporting too. She does it in this first person thing and makes it about her. "I spent the evening in candlelight and tears with a dear friend who just learned that a close family member was among those massacred in Israel. I won't name the kibbutz to protect her privacy, but yes, it was unequivocally a massacre." Why would giving away the village not protect the privacy of the sad person? I don't know. That will be something for Naomi Klein to explain. "We tried to explain the killing of this family member, a civilian, with 2 kids, our kids. We tried to do it in a way that would not fill their young hearts with fear and hatred for the people who committed the crime. That was hard enough, but possible. Harder for us adults is the fact that some of our supposed comrades on the left continue to minimize massacres of the Israeli citizens, and some even seem to celebrate them, as if doing so proves their bad anti-Zionism. In fact, these callous displays are a gift to militant Zionism, since they neatly shore up and reconfirm its core and governing belief that the non-Jewish world hates Jews and always will. Look, even the bleeding heart left is making excuses for our killers and thinks that Jewish kids and old ladies deserve death merely by living in Israel. Now, this is a very clever sort of thing going on here. She is very specifically condemning her own people on the left for allegedly celebrating this. For Zionist believers, I'm not one of them, Jew hatred is the central rationale for why Israel must exist as a nuclear armed fortress. And she points out here that, well, the first thing that came to mind for us, which is this: who does this serve? Who does this terrorist attack actually serve? And one of them is the people who want to level Gaza. They finally have a reason to level Gaza. Some people say Netanyahu is prepared to not let this crisis go to waste, and has been for quite some time. The Israeli state's current murderous leveling of Gaza is the latest unspeakably horrific manifestation of this ideology, and there will be more in the coming days. The responsibility for these crimes of collective punishment rests solely on their perpetrators and their financial and military backers abroad. But we all have to figure out how to make it stop. So how do we confront this violent ideology? And then it goes into, kind of the basics. We can recognize that when Israeli Jews are killed in their homes and celebrated by people who claim to be anti-racist and anti-fascist, that is experienced as anti-Semitism by a great many Jews. So you got some wonderful postmodernism here, celebrating the killing of Jews could be experienced as anti-Semitism. It's a version of, I'm sorry you feel that way. Not sorry for what I did. I'm sorry you feel that way. Almost done here. What could lessen its power, drain it of some of that fuel? True solidarity. Humanism that unites people across ethnic and religious lines, fierce opposition to all forms of identity-based hatred, including anti-Semitism, an international left rooted in values that side with the child over a gun every single time, no matter whose gun and no matter whose child, a left that is unshakably morally consistent and does not mistake that consistency with moral equivalency between occupier and occupied. Period. Love. Period.
You know, it sounds like she's drinking writing this, and it just it got more and more, emotional.
I love it. She says absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
She's saying, a lot of people on the left are horrible anti-Semites, or at least they're being experienced as horrible anti-Semites. But here's the solution. The solution to the whole thing is humanist utopia. Why don't we just create humanist utopia?
Love.
Then everybody will get along.
Just love, man.
Yeah. I think this is an attempt by her to sort of distance herself from the horrible anti-Semitic left, but it is very, very weak, very lame. But it does express what a lot of us on the right are, well, I wouldn't even say we're technically on the right, but a lot of people on the right are seeing blatantly, have called out publicly, and are being shamed and argued about. So it's right there in The Guardian. Now, put this right next to this next Guardian article. Waving Palestinian flag may be a criminal offense, Braverman tells police. Waving a Palestinian flag or singing a chant advocating freedom for Arabs in the region may be a criminal offense, Suella Braverman has told senior police officers. This is in the UK. In a letter to chief constables in England and Wales, the Home Secretary urged them to clamp down on any attempts to use flags, songs, or swastikas to harass or intimidate members of the Jewish community. Her words, which follow deadly attacks, et cetera, et cetera. So,
wait, if a flag's okay, songs.
Yeah, no chanting, no songs.
No singing.
And this, so put these two next to each other. This has an interesting effect. So the left being sort of feeling free to express their support of Hamas and to express their disdain for Israelis, okay? Which this has been a freedom the left has enjoyed for a very long time. At the same time that they have consistently, loudly insisted and sometimes even gotten into policy the stifling of speech online and around the country, at least here in America. We've seen it in other countries as well. And those with a brain between their ears were warning, hey, left, I get it. You're on a roll right now. You have some momentum. You're really not pulling any punches. But all this taking away of free speech, just wait until the next guy gets in. Just wait until the coin flips. You are going to regret every single time that you said that, free speech shouldn't be free, that we should take down Twitter posts, that we should stifle people's communication about any topic that does not match up with your progressive leftist views. This has been happening so frequently and so drastically and for a relatively short period of time. I mean, this all kind of came to be in the 2010s, I'd say probably from about 2012 till now. The last decade is when it's been rising and reached its peak. And we are at the peak, folks.
Well, COVID rocket launched it,
that was
I was going to play.
exponential.
I was going to play the Biden clip here.
This is not about freedom or personal choice.
Well, Okay. There you go.
I know. I mean, we all know it. We've all felt it. We've all seen it. We've all heard it. The taking away of free speech, at least here in the U.S., which thank the Lord above that we actually have a First Amendment, because I've said this before, and UK listeners, they don't like it. The UK does not have a First Amendment. They do not have freedom of speech enshrined in their founding documents. They may let you say whatever until you're a problem, but they do not have free speech. But here you go, the left. You've had your chance. You've supported terrorists. You condemn the Israelis who've had their families murdered, and the coin has flipped. And now it is a crime, a criminal offense to have a Palestinian flag, to chant advocating freedom for Arabs. Look at that. It's not even that you can't chant, terrorists are awesome. We love terrorists. That's one thing. But to advocate for freedom for Arabs in singing or chanting may be a criminal offense. See how that works, the left? This is, if we've been looking at the peak, left influence, and now there's only one direction to go. When you're at the top, there's only one direction to go. And now this, leftist communication is not only just being stifled, but becoming a crime. So sorry, the left. This particular instance has not worked out too well for you. But that's not all, Gons. It's not just about the left. We're talking about how the fifth generation warfare is confusing the minds, blurring the lines, and twisting the morals across the world. What's going on for the right?
Gun violence is an epidemic.
This is coming from townhall.com, and the headline here: amid new war with Hamas, Israel loosens regulations on firearm ownership. And your initial reaction might be, fantastic. We want, people to have the right to bear arms. And so There you go. Israel has no Second Amendment. Gun ownership isn't a right in their society. For now, the Jewish state might adopt it, albeit temporarily, as a war measure. On October 7th, the rocket barrage by Hamas terrorists precipitated a land, sea, and air attack on Israel in an event not seen in the last 50 years. It was a sneak attack that killed at least 700 Israelis and wounded over 1,000 more. The carnage was pervasive, with at least 100 civilians being kidnapped, some children. Rapes have also been reported. Hamas terrorists at some points along the Gaza border paraglided into Israel, taking the country by surprise. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has declared war while mobilizing hundreds of thousands of reservists. Airstrikes have rocked the Gaza Strip, but a land invasion is expected. I keep hearing it's going to happen today. I'm sure it's happening already to some degree. I don't know what to expect in terms of footage or info about that, but though Israeli security forces are still fighting to reclaim the areas in southern Israel that were overrun by Hamas operatives. The right to gun ownership and self-defense were highlighted, as many of these civilians killed and kidnapped had no means to stop these heavily armed Islamic radicals. The videos on social media of these assaults are ghastly. While the process of obtaining a concealed carry permit is heavily regulated in Israel, Itamar Ben-Gvir, Minister for National Security, loosened those restrictions. If you file the required paperwork and pass a background check, you get your gun. Essentially, if you're a law-abiding citizen, arm yourself.
Woo!
Yeah. So
great.
On one hand, it's like, let's
awesome.
go. Let's go. Here we are. Let's, Western values or American values.
Some would even say that's why the U.S. even has a Second Amendment.
Right. And Israel celebrating a sacred component of the American existence, which is the Second Amendment.
Yeah, which is interesting. You've got the UK going in the opposite direction of American values.
Right.
You've got Israel going in the direction of American values, which I won't go into it now, but the UK, basically, what it perpetrated in Ireland, with Northern Ireland, rather, is basically the same model that they used to create Israel. It's a very interesting deep dive. I might do it if I have some time in the next episodes. But the connection between the UK and Israel is very
that's like the whole
fascinating.
thing. It's like the whole thing. So
right.
Yeah, very interesting. But there's also a psyop element to this.
Psyops.
Because if you think about what that means for Americans in America, and I get it, this is the originator of the Second Amendment, so think of this as sort of an attack vector on the Second Amendment, the psyop element here.
Mm-hmm.
If Israel had to, or is only allowing what echoes the Second Amendment in the land of Israel in this crisis moment, this like wartime situation, could it not be framed that, okay, Americans, you want your Second Amendment, you'll get it, but we're going to be in perpetual war. You're going to be in perpetual threat, or be threatened perpetually. As sort of a militant type of threat.
If you want to bear arms, we'll give you a reason to bear arms.
Exactly. So that's the flip side of this. That could be a trap to where we're cheering it on, but at the same time, it's like, oh, okay, well now we're just in war all the time. Every time you step out the door or your neighborhood or something like that, better protect yourself because you never know what's
precedent.
Yeah, setting a precedent.
It's
of
sort
danger.
of setting a cognitive precedent. Again, not just in policy, but in the minds
just
of
people walking around.
Citizens around the world.
Your experience of America will change as this takes over. Yeah.
And of course, people have been drawing lines and concocting crazy conspiracy theories, about how did Hamas even get in? The security on the border is it's the most advanced security in the world.
It stops UFOs, man.
If a cockroach crosses the border, a robotic gun shoots it out of nowhere. Like the fact that so many Hamas was able to get into Israel is a big unanswered question right now. Mm-hmm. But people have drawn the line to the immigration crisis in the U.S. I mean, there was even official memos going out that there may be terrorist cells that are here now, came over the border recently, beast train, blah, blah, blah. I don't have them right in front of me, but there's actually an official thing that went out. And so, what we see in Israel, and it's always been this way with Israel, even with technology, with lockdowns, with medical experiments, with everything.
Yeah, what happened to that? The critique about Israel, they had one of the highest compliance rates, right, to vaccines. Yeah. And a lot of the data that came out of that was like, okay, I don't think this is working the way the media is covering it.
The Israeli data is a big sticking point in the vaccine talk. But the point is, we've identified long ago that Israel seems to be a little bit of a petri dish. When they want to do something around the world or in a bigger country, they test it out in Israel. And immigration stuff in Israel is closely mirrors kind of plans that we've thrown around in the U.S. Anyways, if Israel, the most sophisticated high-tech border in the world, couldn't keep out 4,000 terrorists with weapons or keep them in, they were able to get it, grab people and get out, then what chance do we have? And we have people have drawn a line. We have a similar situation going on in the U.S. So this policy of, hey, we got terrorists in Israel, everybody get your gun, is it's really eerie. It is I get a strange feeling about this, because if those Hamas terror cells are indeed in the U.S., we're going to have a complicated version of this Second Amendment, pro-Second Amendment conversation going on. It seems like quite the setup for some very serious fifth-generation warfare on Second Amendment people.
Exactly. Because we'll have a period of time when you'll hear both types of stories about heroes and sort of villains in the process, right? Or accidents or something like that. But it's so useful for getting people riled up, and appealing to their sensibilities and what they have, again, what they hold sacred, and then seeing,
and also confusing them.
Well, confusing them, to one degree. Yeah. But I think a lot of people, once we hear about this terrorist stuff, I think a lot of folks in this country are going, all right, this is like you and I were talking about this in that sense. I think a lot of people are saying we're ready for this. We're ready, for sort of the attempted takeover kind of vibe, So I get that. I think a lot of people feel more ready and prepared. But in terms of the general public and in terms of how the media shapes this conversation on both sides of the political aisle, it is very reminiscent of how Israel does it. It's not a criticism on the people or anything like that. It's just looking at the systems, looking at the blueprints, looking at how they implement it, how they roll things out, and who they are as people are sort of kind of secondary in terms of all of this. Because I'm getting into some other stuff, but I see so much craziness out there right now. It's hard not to try to talk about the bigger picture and get people off like the thing that they're focused on, that they're so passionate about at the moment. It's just a wild time, but that's the fifth generation warfare is working. And my machine here, my little sound gate thing is not working. That's why it's sounding fuzzy. But I'm worried. I don't want to hit it.
You sound fine to me, but I'm getting that Skype compression. So okay. Can I cap this segment off for you?
Let's cap it. Yeah.
All right. One last thing, a little bit of PSYOP that I think explains a lot.
You want the PSYOP jingle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, please. Gotta have the jingle. All right. This article seems unrelated, and you will see why it is related. This is coming from the intercept.com by Ken Klippenstein. I actually met someone at Burning Man that says they can get Ken Klippenstein on the show or on a CCR episode.
Wow. Okay.
So I'll follow that. I'll see what we can do. Here it is. The headline is, the U.S. government is preparing for a fentanyl WMD attack. No, that's not Wednesday, my dudes. That's weapon of mass destruction.
Oh, back to that now. It's an old one. They pulled one out of the file cabinet there.
Yeah, so fentanyl weapons of mass destruction attack. And I thought this will be interesting. And it turns out it is interesting, but not for the reason that I thought. So it starts out talking about fentanyl, the problem with fentanyl. They want to designate fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction because they theorized that somebody, could aerosolize fentanyl and put it in a subway or, explode it in a town, and then anybody who breathes in the fentanyl or gets it on their skin will die. A weapon of mass destruction. Very interesting concept. Turns out, though, this concept was invented by the U.S. government, different bureaucracies just kind of made this up in their head. They didn't get any intel. They didn't find anybody trying to do this, not even a 33-year-old who wrote it in his journal. Nothing like that. No, it came from the bureaucratic state. And they also debunk, in this article, they debunk the idea that fentanyl can kill you just by touching it. And they go through the story of how that idea came to be. It surprised me. I mean, I don't know. I'm still kind of looking into it. But apparently it's been debunked that getting fentanyl on your skin doesn't kill you. It barely absorbs through the skin, and that all the police officers and ambulance people were so scared by the narrative created by this government agency that they were having panic attacks and passing out when they were helping fentanyl people. That's just a small part of it. Don't need to go into it. But yeah, apparently, at least the official story is that fentanyl on your skin doesn't kill you. It cannot kill you. But here's this. The push to declare fentanyl a WMD and the security state approaching the drug that way, even absent the declaration, has been a boon to federal agencies' budgets. So declaring fentanyl a WMD has been a boon to federal agencies' budgets. It's not clear, however, that reimagining the highly toxic drug as a super lethal weapon has made any effect of combating the ongoing crisis of fentanyl overdoses. What it has done, though, is help kick off a panic. So they make the point that tons of funding has been appropriated by federal agencies by declaring fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction, but none of this has done anything to touch the actual fentanyl crisis of people overdosing. Here's a quote. In the WMD world, there's an industry built on taking a bit of a threat du jour, threat of the day, and like a few egg whites and a whisk, whipping it into an expensive meringue, said Dan Cazetta, a former advisor to the White House on chemical and biological preparedness and longtime expert on weapons of mass destruction, and poet, but he just don't know it. The push to treat fentanyl like a WMD so far, quote, involves emergency responders giving fentanyl mythical properties that toxicologists and anesthesiologists who use the stuff all the time refute, added Cazeta, who is currently an associate fellow at Royal United Services Institute, blah, 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 blah. Is it, Cazeta asked, the next anthrax scare? A way to beg for budget, training, and equipment? Even as it produced material warning of a fentanyl weapon, the government at times assessed such an attack was unlikely. And goes into how low they think that probability is. In a statement to The Intercept about the report, an FBI spokesperson said, quote, while our standard practice is not to comment on specific intelligence products, the FBI regularly shares information with law enforcement partners to assist in protecting communities they serve. Didn't need to read that. Sorry. Can't touch this. This is when they go in and explain that the touching fentanyl is not what it's been made out to be. They find the origin of that idea, which was a single sheriff's department in San Diego in 2021, where the guy passed out while helping someone. All the way down here at DHS push to label fentanyl as a WMD. In 2019, the Assistant Secretary in charge of the Department of Homeland Security's newly created Countering Weapons of Mass Destruction Office referenced the FBI report from the previous year. They talk about how very dangerous fentanyl is and how it can be made into a weapon of mass destruction. The memo didn't mention the next sentence in the FBI document, a warning that the event was low probability due to there being no known credible threat reporting, meaning they have never heard of anyone thinking or doing or trying to do this on the matter. The omission appears to be part, and here it is, the omission appears to be part of a bureaucratic turf grab. Since the office was created by consolidating DHS's Domestic Nuclear Detection Office with its Office of Health Affairs, if fentanyl, a public health threat, could be portrayed as a WMD threat, it could fall under the new office's purview. The memo went on to suggest that creation of the new office under the Countering Weapons of Mass Destruction Act of 2018, quote, provides an opportunity to apply DHS CWMD assets and capabilities to the fentanyl problem through the lens of weapons of mass destruction. So they are giving away the game here.
Yeah.
What The Intercept is describing is federal agencies making up or exaggerating the threats of something in order to get bigger budgets.
It's all about money.
Sound familiar to anybody out there?
Money at COVID time.
People
get sick, we
have
make money.
People have scoffed at us in the past at talking about how, hey, whatever is going on, all the government messaging about something, all the hype, suddenly all the media can't stop talking about this one big threat. Oh, it's the threat du jour. It's the biggest, scariest thing. And it always ends up not really being that big of a deal, but only after the federal
money
government
is made.
Exactly.
The
Only
deals
after.
are done.
So they are blatantly laying out here how the government will, some might call it lying about a danger in order to get more money that never solves a problem. And I don't know if the Intercept was meaning to do this, but they basically laid out the roadmap for almost everything that has gone on and is going on in our world. You can take out fentanyl from this story and put in anything: climate change, gun reform, public health, war in Ukraine,
Gaza.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
Terrorism.
Terrorism, right. The money keeps flowing. The threat is either invented or exaggerated. The money goes to the deep I mean, that's what the deep state is, the unelected bureaucratic network in our government that never goes away, the permanent government. You got the deep state exaggerating or lying about something for funding, for money, and then they never actually solve any problems with it. Now, this might sound obvious. This might be like, yeah, of course, Basil, we know this is how it works. That's what we've been saying the whole time. I get it. And I would agree. It is almost not even worth reading this article, except for if you're on our newsletter and you now have this link in your email box, the next time you are talking to someone and telling them how the government exaggerates or lies for the purposes of money, and they say, no, they would never do that. You pull up this article, and it explains step by step how they did it with fentanyl, inventing the idea that it could be a weapon of mass destruction just for funding and money and control of the populace. And we need to keep this in mind. It is now in the mainstream public, news media.
Yeah.
And so we have the sort of, I don't know, what's the word, justification to apply it to any federal agency in any situation.
We've talked about obviously the fifth generation warfare, the network state, but the reality of sort of the experiences of people like us and people out there that understand this, it's almost like there has to be a total exodus into something, different kind of internet or something. It's probably going to keep clashing, keep getting worse. And it's going to become, well, it already is so obvious that it's frustrating when people fall for it, and not that we're so susceptible. I think we have our faults as well over time, but
sometimes things don't occur to us in the moment, but
in the
makes
moment
sense later.
You get stoked about something, but that's everything. I think that it's designed that way for a reason. That's why we're supposed to have on the full armor of God, not just parts.
That's
of it.
right.
But
the way to make it through this fifth generation war, guns. That and the fifth generation war is fought in culture. It's fought in the mind. It's fought in the preferences and beliefs. That's what we read straight from the text given to us by the government. And I think it's time we set up our own little garrison here and thank some producers for being a part of the culture here.
Yeah, let's start real quick. We got one speak pipe message here.
Okay.
Please leave a message after the tone.
At the tone, please record your message.
Leave a message. Beep.
Message.
Go to canarycrynewstalk.com, look for a green tab on the right side or the bottom, click on it. It'll give you a little tiny window that allows you to record a audio message through your device up to 90 seconds. You can leave a pre-show prayer. We appreciate those. You can leave us a little voice message to either us or to the Canarians out there. We got something from the Austin meetup, little update here.
Hi, Basil and Gons. This is a little update about that Austin meetup you've mentioned. So if it was for the 27th, I posted about it, or I made the flyer and emailed you guys about it on the 23rd. So very pop-up, fly-by, quick, casual thing. And there wasn't a show that week, so nothing really came of it. But I do plan on doing that in the future with a lot more notice, and I'll also be at the Houston meetup the 21st, and I'm really excited about that. So thank you so much. Hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for the show. Take care. Bye.
Yeah, thank you so much. And wanted to play this on the show. First, to shame Austin Canarians, but also to shame myself, because she did send that in, I think she said the 23rd, and we didn't post it until the 26th, which was a shame. So it's
I
kind
didn't
of
hear about it till
kind of trying to get the message out to people in one day to turn around and go to this meetup. So I take at least 90% of the blame for that. Apologies.
Eat that blame pie.
Yeah, I'll eat it. I'll eat my pie. But also, Austin Canarians, there is attempted meetups going on in your area. You need to participate in this. We will, have another one planned a little bit further ahead of time. And this goes for anybody out there, because look, I see you. I know where you're all at. I can see the little dots on the maps, and I know you're there. And when somebody is putting on a meetup near you, you really, really should go to it. I mean, not just because just because we want you to, and not just because you'll meet some people in the area that you'll probably be friends with, or meet your spouse or future spouse. I mean, all these things have happened at Canary Crime meetups, but also it's important that you let other Canarians know that they're not alone. I mean, this is the best way to, even if you don't become friends, even if you don't meet your future spouse, anything like that. I might be putting too much pressure on the situation by saying all that. I'm just saying, it feels good when you step out and put on a meetup and people show up to it. And guess what? It doesn't feel good when people don't show up. Now, this one was my fault, of course, but if you're out there and you hear us saying go to canarycrimemeetups.com and we call out meetups near you, you really, really, really ought to try your best to show up, or at least send a message to the host and tell them, hey, I can't make it to this one, but I'm glad you're doing it. I'll try to make it to the next one, or let's find a time or something. That is my wish. That is my wish for you all. And thank you so much for putting on that last-minute meetup. Apologies for my delay. I pretty much delay anything that's going on in the Canarium, so I'm working on it. But there you go. Thank you so much for the message.
Yep, thank you very much. In the meantime, let's thank some producers who came in with their talent. It helps us build the culture behind the community here. We're going to start with audio production.
Audio production.
What happened?
Oh no, there's a baby emergency.
Emergencies. Okay. We got some from Jonathan F. You mind reading that note for me, Basil?
Yes, sure. I got it. Let me pick it up. Yeah. Here's the wonderful thing about canarycry.art, folks, is that you can upload your art to the show, which makes it so we don't lose it. That's wonderful. But you can also leave a note there. Let us know a little about what you got going on. This one was from Jonathan F. And it says, "Hello, guys. Just Biden head kicking commander like a master martial artist." Oh, no. Oh, no. All right. Of course, we're referring to specifically Alex Jones and Disinfowars, not necessarily deceptively clipping Biden kicking his dog, but, participating in some pretty well-known basic mind control techniques to, you know what, they had to fill 5 minutes, sometimes you're doing a show, you got to fill 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. So you play a picture of the president tripping over his dog 18 times, once every 8 seconds. And then the 5 minutes is up and you can move on.
All right. I think I have this. Wait a minute. Is it just audio?
Oh, boy.
All right, here it is.
That's the official position of this city, but we have made it clear this will be a
decompression strategy that we can properly deal with the volumes that's coming into our city, and no cities should have to carry the burden of a national.
I think we played this already.
Yeah, that's the wrong one, Gons.
Yeah.
That was the one from the
That
night.
was the one from last episode. I apologize about that. I think I have the correct thing here, and I think the format is wrong.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's an AVI file.
Not an AVI file.
I just noticed it. Could not be open.
Can you play it from the browser?
No, that's what I was trying to do, and it's not.
Whoopsie daisies.
Oh, you mean, okay. Yeah, I can do it. Yes, I can do it from the browser. It'll just take me a moment to get there.
Yeah, just play it from the Google Drive there. Yeah, by the way, everybody, we need you. We need you to make art for the show, either music or jingles or graphic art or whatever. I've been imploring producers to do interpretive dance or fushigi juggling or sculpture or something. We have had some great sculptures in the past. I appreciate that. But hey, there's a lot of talented people out there, and it's not about being good. It's not about being better than the other artists. It's about participating in the culture, and we need you. We need each and every one of you to get your voice and your talents up in here. So do whatever you do and upload it at canarycry.art.
It is failing at the browser level as well. Can you play it from your browser? At least the audio?
I tried.
Okay.
I tried, and it didn't work. So,
right.
yeah, that's a...
Jonathan F. You got to get...
Must be a whoopsies on Jonathan F's side.
Yeah, if you can get us
it looks like a video.
MP4 file. It is a video. That's what I'm saying. It complicated the whole thing. So.
Oh, yeah, AVI. You got to do an MP4
yeah,
or an MOV.
MP4 or an MOV at worst. Sorry about that, Jonathan F. But, yeah, we'll play it on the next episode if we can get it in the correct format. So.
Oh, wait.
What?
I might have it. Sorry to extend this entire thing, but I might have it. Let me see if I can type my...
It'll just be
sound.
audio, though, right? It won't be video.
Yeah, it'll just be audio. Okay. Let's see. All right. I got it going. Here we go. Let me pipe this over to you. This is not something that I do very often. You're going to hear the birds that are constantly playing in my VR headset. Here we go. Beautiful head kick from our commander-in-chief. He's playing the clip, moving the dog. Kick the dog. Kick the dog. Oh, yeah. Doing a dance. Kicking the dog. All right.
I wish I could see what was going on.
Yeah, I apologize. Yeah, okay. Here's what we're going to move this over to next show, so Gons can get the video going.
Yeah, all right.
And we'll play it. He made like a funny dance video, like
with going back and forth of Joe.
Yeah, with
kicking
the clip of him kicking the dog.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All
Apologies. Right. We should have spent more time on that, Jonathan F.
Yeah.
Our bad.
Yeah. Sorry about that. But we'll make it right next episode. Okay.
I love apologizing to our producers. It's like my favorite thing to do.
I have to do it constantly.
I'm not even being satirical.
The show is just one big apology to our producers.
You know what? Got to do it. It's humble pie doing a show like this live.
It is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Okay. We're going to thank the artist,
Please.
who is Sir Dove, Knight of Rusbeltia.
The artist.
One art piece from Dove.
The artist currently known as Sir Dove, Knight of Rusbeltia.
Ooh. Is there something in the
Do it.
Note that says, peace for today's artwork. I did a potential supply drop design of the MAGA Commander Hope. You guys like it. Keep doing what you're doing. I'll keep praying for you. Dove.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorites.
Like it.
Yeah, I do like it. I like it a lot.
He has created an image here based on the Don't Tread on Me image with the snake on the yellow background, a sort of quintessential libertarian symbol here. But instead of a snake, it is Commander, Joe Biden's dog. And instead of Don't Tread on Me, it says Don't Kick on Me. It's very, very good and brings me much happiness. And as usual, we've got some Easter eggs here. First of all, Commander is wearing a MAGA hat
Oh no,
But
yeah,
not-
it is.
not the
Yes,
one
a
you're
red
thinking
MAGA
of.
hat. Yes.
Hold on, he's not the one you're thinking of. It's the classic Canary Cry "Make Antarctica Great Again."
The real
And,
MAGA.
The real MAGA, yes, the MAGA that matters. Somebody's gonna get mad at me for saying that. On the side of his "Make Antarctica Great Again" hat, he's got a pin, and the pin is the Disinfo Wars with Alex Jones logo, which is prescient considering our
Yes.
breakdown of InfoWars biting, kicking dog thing. The tag on Commander's red collar says, "Commander, if found, please return to the big guy." And then it has the phone number for the Canary Cry text message alert system, 877-740-3226. Love
Clever.
it. Gotta get the number out there. Don't kick on me, okay? I think this has the chance to be adopted as a very powerful libertarian symbol.
Yeah, I want this shirt.
This would be a very good shirt.
Great shirt.
This would be a very
It would be
good
great on a
shirt.
flag.
This would be a very good
Fantastic.
shirt. Okay, the Canary Cry T-shirt Council voting is gonna start soon. This might have to be one of the options.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I'm doing it. I'm putting it in the options. Keep an eye out, Canary Cry T-shirt Council, for the next round of voting for the shirt.
All right. Fantastic.
Thank
Thank you
you,
very
Sir
much, Sir Dove. Okay, we have a couple microfiction. I'm just going to leave Don't Kick on Me up there because it's such a great one. We have a couple microfictions to go through. Here we go.
Microfiction.
First one is from Runk Smash. Here we go. Come on, music. Where are you? There you are.
The procurement drones take flight and are crossing the border just in time to witness 3 chicken substitutes entering a building surrounded by verdant hedges of non-trademarked vegetables. The stealth bushings engage and the whirring stops. What are the chicken substitutes? What are the chicken substitutes? Chicken substitutes is people.
Ooh.
Thank you very much, Runk Smash.
Thank you very much, Runk Smash. Yep. Good stuff. We got a few more of those ready to go. I like
Yep.
that, Runk Smash. I like the bulk.
It's nice to have them in bulk. Yeah.
So we got the next
He's a
ones ready
busy
to go.
guy, you know. He's
Yeah.
efficient.
All right. We have another one from Stefan S.
MI6 con call. Agent 22, did you identify our target? Nigel. Absolutely. I penetrated the wedding reception and spotted him on the dance floor wearing a VR headset. Later, vocal validations were confirmed while the board guests over 5th gen warfare.
They're targeting you.
It seems Stefan was at that wedding too. He saw me prattling on at the wedding about 5th gen warfare while people's eyes rolled into the back of their heads. Thank you very much, Stefan S.
Thank you, Stefan S.
Making me feel seen.
And that's all the producers we have for our talent. And yeah, again, we appreciate it. It helps us build the culture behind the community. And it is part of the 5th generation warfare too, you know, loosely. It creates the visuals that
if we didn't
carry
have
ideas.
Yeah, the creative parts of the Canary Cry culture, then we would just be voices in your head. But now, where images you can see, designs you can relate with, and symbols that can send messages to the subconscious of the sleeping.
Oh, did you cut out?
Did you cut out?
I think you cut out something about sleeping.
No,
and then
you cut out.
So
all right.
Discovery Antarctica.
Advanced Antarctica.
Climate crisis.
Penguins.
Climate change.
Did you know, according to GreekReporter.com, ozone hole the size of North America forms above Antarctica?
Huh.
Well, that's a big
Weird.
hole. That's a huge hole. Though recent data, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. Through recent data, satellites have revealed the largest ever gaps in the ozone layer above Antarctica. The ozone layer acts as a shield in the sky located between 9 and 18 miles, 15 to 30 kilometers above ground. Now, this is interesting that when I was a child, we got, yes, what?
No, I was just saying this must be very recent data.
Yeah, we'll get there. When I was growing up, it was all about the ozone, the hole in the ozone layer. You know, everyone talked about that. That was the thing we were told when I was in elementary school, with the environmental stuff, education. It was, there's a hole in the ozone layer. When you use hairspray, you're helping that hole get bigger. And so that was the thing. Well, in recent years and months, really, the last year-ish probably, we were told that we did a great job with climate policy and that we reversed the whole thing. This is the World Economic Forum back in September. This is September 15th.
Last month, barely 3 weeks ago, from the World Economic Forum.
The headline, the ozone layer is on the right path to recovery. Here's how the world made it happen.
Oh, yeah.
So we made it happen. The ozone layer protects the Earth. Yeah, we know that. Scientists say ozone hole is continuing to shrink and could fully repair by 2050. There's shrinkage happening with the hole, Basil. The ozone layer problem has been solved. We did a great job, but then I don't know. It took a month. 1 month later, the hole the size of North America forms above Antarctica. I don't know how this works exactly. I'm not a climate scientist, but I am very skeptical of this hole.
No, we are not climate scientists, but we are the voice of climate scientists, especially Antarctican climate scientists who have a lot of problems with the way that Antarctica is being presented. Yeah. But, again, just because we're doing this with everything, putting it in the context of fifth generation warfare, things start to make more sense. The problem with climate scientists and Antarctica, as aligns with our theories about Antarctica, is being used. It's a thing to be used.
Yeah.
And in this case, it is a weapon being wielded in the fifth generation warfare. Because on one hand, when it comes to climate change, there needs to be hope and there needs to be results. And results and hope are very difficult. This is just basic, motivating humans. You must give them hope that things can get better, and you must give them morale by showing them that things are getting better through their sacrifices. But you can't let them get too comfortable, because then they'll sit back and not let you take over the world. So you have a very elegant dance going on right now, where 1 month they come out and say, good job, everybody. It's working. It's working. Keep doing what we're doing. The earth is healing. You citizen. No, it's not about the corporations and how they dump pollution into the ocean willy-nilly, or pharmaceutical drugs, or how corporations are sort of single-handedly responsible for 99.9% of the pollution in the world, but we're not making them do anything about it. No, it's you. It's your fault, and you are doing a good job fixing it by listening to us and obeying us. Good job. And then for 2.5 weeks later, oh my God, we're all going to die. You got to fix it, folks. This is your fault. You're killing us. I mean, it's a very, it's a formula, much like the fentanyl WMD thing. It's exposing the formula. And the formula is this roller coaster of up and down, up and down. If people don't have something that tells them it's working, they won't let you take over the world. However, you got to keep the pressure on, which is what they're doing at on that first article there. It's the size of North America. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gons, I don't know. Maybe that's the way out of the firmament.
Yeah. Some people got sick of it. The last 30 days, they're like, oh, we're out of here, man. Let's just tear that hole open and cruise on out. But yeah, the theme, the right left coming together, it's a big circle, same kind of deal here. You kind of swing one end to the other. You play with people's emotions, and then they're much more, they just want stability. That's kind of what everybody wants, is stability. Yeah. So if you create chaos, you're able to tell them which chairs to sit in as things settle down. So
it's the Hegelian dialectic playing out right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, pretty wild.
Interesting, in the Greek Reporter, the one with the big ozone hole, says the hole linked to volcanic eruption, but still drive an electric car. Okay, there's the Earth. The Earth itself blew a hole in its own ozone layer, but you dear human, are a plague on the Earth. If it weren't for you, that volcano wouldn't have gone off. Anyways, yeah, there you go. Antarctica, once again, being used and abused to take over the world by the forces that are perpetrating the formula we saw with the WMD fentanyl thing. They exaggerate or create a problem, get the funding, don't solve the problem. Sometimes because it was never there. And with that, folks, I want to remind you, you can send your art to canarycry.art, and you can send reports, articles. If you want us to take a look at something, consider it for the show. Go to canarycry.report and upload it there. That's the way to make sure, absolutely sure, that we see it, because the inbox is pure chaos. But we've got a couple more producers we want to thank. The people who come in, they serve the show, the culture, the movement with their time, starting with the Clippies.
Clippy on those videos. Thanks.
Yeah, go check it out. Canary Cry Clips on YouTube and Odyssey. There's not a huge bit of momentum of the clips going on now, but you should still subscribe because we're going to get it going, and the clips will be plentiful, and you will want them, and you will want to share them. And so thank you to Clippies, and that's only possible because of the timestampers.
Timestamp, it's hard work. Timestamp.
Darn tootin'. Thank you to the timestampers. They are the ones, the talented, beautiful, faithful ones who watch the show, oftentimes live, and record the timestamps for the different segments. It goes into so much of our back-end processes. It's an incredibly important job, and we appreciate them very, very much for their work. And I'm waiting for this to load, and it is not loading. I am going to thank the one and only, it was producer Morgan E. for episode 675. Thank you, Morgan E.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and thank you to Jam for the links. Thank you to Ginger for the stories. Thank you to Clank for the reminders and all the clanking you do. And other than that, folks, just share the show. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Share it with the plants in your backyard. Share it with the plants in your front yard. Share it with everybody around you, because the whole world needs to know that Canary Cry is here for them. But you don't have to share it in the usual way, posting it on social media, although you should definitely do that. But you don't need to, send it in a Amazon box, sneak it into thousands of break into the Amazon warehouse, bring a big sack, sort of like a Santa sack filled with Canary Cry News Talk episodes, and then slip them into all the Amazon packages as they're going out into the world, although that would also be a great idea. But you can do it in a more creative way, in a way that sort of fulfills your need for making a mark on the world, for using your creativity, for really impressing your dad, finally, family. He'll be proud of you because you shared the show in this spectacular way. Instead, I highly recommend you don't jump into the 9/11 memorial in New York City, but you do have the option of creating your own Canary Cry Memorial. Sure, usually you got to make a memorial to remember something that's now gone, but time is an illusion. So in a way, we're already gone, folks. Yes, in the distant future, the producers have stopped producing.
That's such a sad way to end the show.
The robots are taking over. The producers stopped producing because we have descended into a post-apocalyptic wasteland. And finally, the show is no longer a podcast, but we have become a traveling band of sort of circus performers. We do live podcasts. The technology, the internet doesn't exist anymore. Instead, we are relegated to wagons and carts that we've made from the rubble of the cities and the melted bits of direct energy weapon goo that has taken out most of human infrastructure, but we will rebuild, and we built a cool wagon, kind of like a covered wagon, like the frontiersmen of the Old West. Yes, and we travel the countryside, going from post-apocalyptic village to post-apocalyptic fortress to tribe of cannibals, and all along the way we stand up on our cool stage with the rest of the Canarians who help us move from place to place, and we don't make a Canary Cry News Talk podcast, but we speak it straight to the people. We shout it out with bullhorns made from discarded road cones that survived the blast. We share the show by handing out bits and pieces of formerly operable iPods, and while we scream in their face about how the apocalyptic news media does not have our best interests at heart. That's just one way to do it. You don't got to do it that way. You can do it any way you want, but we call it rattling cages, and all you got to do is walk right up to them, grab them by the cage, and then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages.
Hey, stop that!
You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy.
Leave the bird alone.
Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right. Just ask Noah. All right, Gons, you got any last words?
I was gonna say maybe the one of the biggest psyops of them all when it comes to physical conflict like we're seeing in Israel is for everybody to just go into the metaverse. Doesn't the metaverse sound much more peaceful?
Yeah,
if we can just settle all of our differences in the metaverse, and then hey, we'll give you some I don't know, Israel coin or something,
Sure. Probably not that, but yeah, just sit in your Amazon pod and drink your slurry, and
we'll just hook you
play
up.
Play online backgammon with the rest of the.
Which, by the way,
people.
is we haven't talked about the Sam Bankman-Fried court stuff that's going on, that's been unfolding the last couple of weeks. But it seems to me that he'd rather be in prison and have internet access than be free and not have internet. Apparently, is the deal.
Yeah,
but that's
interesting.
Think of the setup psychologically of what that is creating for society.
Yeah.
So anyway,
it's a great sort of precognition of what they would prefer us to do, which is through lockdowns, climate lockdowns, etc., trap us in our houses, but give us the internet where they can control every word that comes into our view.
Yep. Sorry. Restarted the music there.
No worries. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time. But until then, leave a rating and a review, screenshot it, and then email it to canarycrysupply.com. Let's get that momentum back going, folks. We are on a roll. Let's keep it rolling. We need you. We need you more than ever. Go on Apple Podcasts or Audible or wherever. Leave a rating and a review. Screenshot it. Send it to canarycrysupply.com. And while you're at it, take a second button on X or Twitter or wherever social media you see us. Don't let one of our posts go by. We are still fighting the shadow ban. So if you just hit like or share or bookmark is a great one. That really gets you past the censors there. But please interact with the posts. Otherwise, our shadow banning will continue forever. That is just an earnest plea to make sure that we don't disappear in this censorship. All right. That's it. Now, thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk, and make sure to tune in next time. But until then, think outside the cage.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Bye!
Thirsty for more news and analysis, not controlled by corporate media advertisers? Then try the all-new CCNT Energy Shots. Collect all 33 flavors. CCNT 500. Taste that is out of this world. Burning basil, one sip and you're dreaming. FLIPPY. Take back your favorite flavor. Propaganda Rooster. A toast to your comrades in farms. Rattling Cages. Let's shake things up. Canary Cry After Dark. What time is it? It's wake up time. Support value for value. And think outside the cage with Canary Cry News Talk. But what do I know? I'm just an AI-generated cat girl avatar. And this is a fake ad. Baka.
resounding baka flies through the air across the world. Why are you screaming like a wild bird?
Rattle their cage. They have a lot of people screaming randomly. Why don't you shout? It'll be their call out. They have a lot of people screaming randomly.
Go ahead and...
Why don't you shout?
Why are you screaming like a wild bird?
Circle back, but I'll have to circle back. Circle back, but I'll have to circle back. Circle back, but I'll have to circle back. I'm happy to circle back. I'll have to just circle back with you. We can circle back on that one. Circle back with you. It's an interesting question, but we'll circle back.
When the news of the day gets to feeling like a maze, it's okay, don't be afraid if you don't know what to say. Canary, cry awaits. When your brain's in a haze and a headline days, come on, head my way, I can help you out the cage. Canary, cry waits. Canary, cry waits. Oh, canary, cry waits. Oh, the world's changing every day, each and every way you turn. There's another thing to learn. Reading in between the lines, thanking Jesus for our lives. And nice to see His glory shining like the sun. Run the race until it's done. Come on, everyone. Canary, cry waits. Oh, canary, cry waits. When your brain's in a haze and a headline days, come on, I had my way. I can help you out the cage. Canary, cry away.
Bye. I'm out of here. Bye.
Value for value. We take no money from corporations, commies, or cartels.
Canary cry, that's support.